love it or hate it, you're gonna need diapers for your newborn baby. They are the sprinkler of life. You can't bring your baby home from the hospital naked. People looking at me cray-cray. People love buying little itty-bitty baby clothes. I've been around the block a time or two. Here are 6 baby items that you need before your baby comes home. The baby market is literally like the wild, wild west.
10 paces and turn just for fun.
Every company has like a bazillion different items, and there seems to be something for everything, every task, every need, every baby. But are they all baby necessities? Are they all newborn essentials? I don't actually think so, and I have had 4 kids. So I'm going to tell you about the 6 things that I do think you need before you go in to give birth to your baby and before you bring that brand new baby home. These 6 things are 6 things that I use for every single one of my babies, starting with somewhere for them to sleep. You do need a safe sleep environment for your baby before you bring them home, because newborns sleep a lot and we want to make sure that they are safe when they are sleeping. And we don't want babies to be sleeping in things like car seats and strollers and swings. So you are going to want to purchase a safe sleep environment that has a surface that is firm, flat, and not inclined. So that can look like a bassinet, that can look like a pack and play, as long as that pack and play surface is firm, flat, and not inclined, or that can look like a crib. Now, my name is Tina. I am a certified perinatal nurse and a certified breastfeeding specialist who has been through this a time or two. If you are new here, welcome, welcome. Please consider subscribing and sticking around. If you are not new here, thanks for coming back to the chaos. Let's get into the second thing that I know you need before that baby comes home. You need a car seat to bring your baby home, not to sleep in, which we just talked about, but to actually transport your baby home from the birthing center or the hospital. And the nurses or the staff at the hospital will want to see this car seat to make sure that it is safe for the new bundle that you are bringing home. Just a reminder that this will be rear facing in a 5-point harness style. Usually it's in the bucket that detaches from the base, but they do make some bigger car seats that are certified safe for babies that are weighing a little bit less or newborn babies. You do need to make sure though that it is certified safe in the country that you live in and that it is not expired. A lot of people are surprised to find out that car seats do expire. So if you are having multiple babies sort of in a smaller time frame, do make sure if you're using that same bucket car seat for your rear facing infant that it is not expired. Also, I am not a CPST, but I do love me a CPST, and I do love consuming all sorts of CPST content because I think that they are a really, really invaluable resource for new parents and for old parents who just want a refresher. So if you do have questions about car seats or car seat safety, please reach out. Here's a couple of organizations in Canada and the US that you can look for resources. The third thing on the list is diapers, and love it or hate it, you're going to need diapers for your newborn baby because they are going to be pooping and peeing and doing actually quite a bit of it. And we love it when babies are pooping and peeing a lot, but that does mean that you're going to need a lot of diapers. And there are a ton of different brands of disposables. It feels like there's 15 or 20 brands out there now, where there was probably 3 or 4 when my oldest was a newborn baby. So there really isn't a way to tell which brand is going to be best for your baby. You got to pick a brand that you align with, but also a brand that fits your baby well, because if your diaper is not fitting your baby well or you're not using the right size, that can lead to more and more blowouts, which of course leads to more and more laundry, and nobody wants to be doing more laundry than they need to when they bring a baby home. I often asked other parents, hey, what diaper did you use and what did you like about it? Some people will say this one was great for girls, this one was great for boys, but again, I really feel like it's trial and error. And all of these disposable diapers will have a very large variety of sizes available. Most of them will have preemie, some even have smaller than preemie, and then they will go up to likely a size 6 or a size 7. I always suggest if you're having an average size baby that you could get away with newborns, but if you feel like your baby might be closer to the larger side of things, you might want to stock newborn and size 1, so you are ready. And if you feel like your baby is kind of average and in the smaller side of things, you might want to stock newborn and preemie. I had a 5-pound, 15-ounce baby. She was in preemie for at least, I'd say, 2.5 weeks and then moved into newborn. So just a lot of things going on there to look into. There's also cloth diapers. That is a whole ecosystem in itself, and it is a little bit of an investment up front. However, if you want to know more information on cloth diapering, the communities out there that do cloth diapering, they are experts. They are so supportive and they are there to help you. And I will link a few resources in the description for you if you want to look into that, if you're thinking about cloth diapering your baby. I did it for the first several weeks of my baby's lives and it was cute. I liked it. Fourth thing is clothes. I mean, you can't bring your baby home from the hospital naked. So you will need clothes for your baby. However, I do love skin to skin and lots of skin to skin in those first several weeks after your baby is born. And that's their naked body up against your naked body. It is so good for so many reasons, especially if you are breastfeeding. But definitely you need to buy some clothes. Now, I did a lot of sleepers. I think for my first couple of babies, I did a lot of really cute outfits. But then as I had more babies, I sort of realized that sleepers are just really convenient, and the baby doesn't care that they're wearing a sleeper all of the time, so neither did I. But you can pick what you like. You can even put some of these on your registry or have other people buy them for you, because people love buying little itty bitty baby clothes. But have some sleepers or some clothes in a couple of different sizes. Again, it's the same thing goes as with diapers. You might want to start with some newborns, and if you think baby might be small, grab some preemies. And I do have to say, I found that Carter's had the best selection of preemie sleepers for my little girl when she was in preemies. But newborn and preemie if you think they're going to be small, newborn and 0 to 3 month if you think that they're going to be a little bit bigger, and then you are sort of set. Also keep in mind the month that you are having your baby. I know due dates are an estimate, but sometimes we go crazy in the store and we buy some clothes, but we don't think that the weather that it is right now while you are 6 months pregnant is not going to be the same weather as when your baby is born. So really think that one through before you are buying a lot of clothes. Again, you don't need a lot, but you do need some. Next thing on the list is a sleep sack or a blanket. And the rule of thumb here is that you want to dress babies in one more layer than you are comfortable in. And my gut is telling me that you are not sleeping sprawled out with no blankets on you or strutting around your house naked. So you do need to have something for baby for sleep or if they need to be covered up. My personal preference is always a Velcro sleep sack over a loose blanket that I wrap baby in for a couple of reasons. One is that the Velcro on a sleep sack makes me feel like that is just more secure, and there's not as much of a risk of that blanket coming up and over their face. So for me and my personality, that gave me peace of mind. It also gave me that secure swaddle on top that I knew wasn't too tight, but looseness on the legs, because I want to reduce the chances of hip dysplasia that can come when you swaddle a baby too tight. So I love the Halo sleep sack. I bought a couple of those to have at home so that I had something for baby to be comfortable to rest in. The last thing on the list is actually for you and not for baby, and that is nipple care. This to me is absolutely one of the 6 musts you should have before you bring your baby home, because your nipples, we need to keep them in tip-top shape, because your nipples are an integral part of your postpartum journey and of your baby's health and well-being, because your nipples are what supplies the breast milk to your baby. They are the sprinkler of life. And so it's important to keep them functioning well and try to prevent them from becoming damaged, because that can really derail a breastfeeding journey. So I always say that there's kind of 2 camps that I say. Either purchase like a silverette or a silver nursing cup. This is really great for preventing nipple damage before it starts. And also, if you do end up with some nipple damage, this can be great for healing as well, but it is on the pricier side. So I say purchase that, or purchase like a lanolin or a balm. And the 2 things that I would suggest on the lanolin side would be the Lanzano lanolin. I like it the best because it is hypoallergenic. Also, you can use it on, your lips and your nips and your elbows and whatever ails you. And if you want to stay away from lanolin, I would always suggest the Earth Mama nipple butter. It is deliciously good. Also good on your nips and your lips and your elbows. So it just depends on what you want, but have one of those handy. And if you want to go one step further on the list of things you need, you can always grab the Lanzano soothing gel pads, which are really, really great on sore, cracked nipples. I call it a spa for your nipples, and I like to have one package, because I always need it at about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not about to drive to the store at 2 o'clock in the morning to pick myself up a nipple spa. So I like to have a little nipple package ready to go for me before baby comes home, because that's the last thing I want to be thinking about while I'm dealing with a newborn baby. There's a few things on the list that you'll likely need very soon, but you don't necessarily need them right off the jump before baby comes home. First thing I'm going to say here is a stroller. And yes, most people want a stroller at some point in time, because you just get tired of carrying the baby seat around or wearing your baby, especially as your baby gets a bit older and they want to sort of see the world around them and you want to get fresh air. So a stroller would be something I would put on a registry or really plan on buying, as the baby gets a little bit older. Another thing on the list of things you don't necessarily need before baby comes home, but a lot of people want to have them, so maybe put it on the top of your next to purchase list, would be wipes. And people are like, Tina, you cray. I need some wipes for my baby's bum because they poop and stuff. Yes, wipes are great, but you can clean your baby's privates with water. I like to actually use my Peri bottle and just spray warm water and then use a face cloth or a little baby cloth or even a paper towel to clean off. That's what I would do if I didn't have wipes. If you have the money and you want to really prepare the nursery, yes, grab the wipes ahead of time. But on the list of 6 absolute necessities, it's not there. It's just like number 6.5, if you will. And then another thing is a baby bathtub, because in the beginning, we are not actually submerging baby in the bath unless we need to, because they'll still have their umbilical cord attached, and we want to try to keep that nice and dry to help it to sort of fall off and get to where it needs to be, to, the California raisin section of things. So a baby bathtub will be needed because your babies will get dirty and will need a bath. But in the beginning, you can just do sponge baths. So all you need for that is a fluffy towel or a mat to put them on, and warm water and a cloth, and some Q-tips to dry out that umbilical cord. In keeping with the bath theme, the next thing that could wait to be purchased are baby soaps and lotions. And I know there are tons of brands. They have super cute packaging and they smell so good. Though I would probably do fragrance-free and alcohol-free when your baby's a newborn. But the truth is, you're not going to need them when you first bring your baby home, because you're not going to be submerging your baby in a full bath. You're going to be doing those sponge baths with warm water and a cloth while that umbilical cord is still attached. And then even once you are able to bath your baby in a submerged bath, then you're still only going to be using soap maybe 3 times a week, because if you're using it too much, you risk drying out your baby's sensitive skin. So you don't need a whole lot once you do need it, and you can likely get samples from baby registries or baby stores. So really, you're not going to need to buy this for quite a long time. And really, those bottles, there's so much soap in them. I think you could probably keep your baby clean for like an entire year if you were to actually invest in them. And then the last thing that I think you could wait on buying or not buy at all is a nursing pillow. And I say that, people looking at me cray-cray. I loved my nursing pillow, but they can be expensive. $40, $50, $60, and you can actually use any pillows to support your baby while you are bottle feeding or breastfeeding. It doesn't necessarily have to be a specific nursing pillow if you don't have the funds or you don't want to be purchasing that as an extra. So this one can wait, or it can be scratched, or you can register for it and somebody else can buy you a beautiful gift. But just make sure that when you are using a nursing pillow, if you do decide to get one, that you have really, really nice posture when you are using it. You don't have the breastfeeding shoulders where you are sort of slouched over and then you are going to feel that for the rest of the day, week after week, month after month. If you like this one, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let me know what's on your list of things that you had to have before baby came home, and what do you think can wait till baby is a little bit older. If you want a video all about creating a registry, check out this one right here. Consider subscribing, and as always, be happy, stay healthy, have fun.